Hey, Sludge, I do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'm having a Minocqua Freedom Trail cold. So I've got some products from them coming today, which is why I thought I'd drink this one now and get it out of the fridge. I signed up to a deal where I get four packs a month. During World War II, one of the many freedom trails taken by refugees fleeing Nazi Germany went through French Morocco. The movie Casablanca told the love story of two heroic resistance warriors stuck along that route as they tried to avoid capture. As America forms its own resistance movement against Trump's fascist regime, reading the can, we must channel the heroism of those depicted in Casablanca and create new freedom trails to protect Americans seeking refuge from tyranny here at home. I happen to agree with that message. In fact, I'm kind of worried about folks that don't agree with that message, to be honest with you. Anyways, I'm going to have a drink. Oh, yeah. The Kolsch. That lager ale hybrid gives you more flavor than your typical lager, but still finishes crisp, dry, and clean. Like you want a lager to, nice fruity ale middle, and then nice, clean, and dry in the finish. And sláinte. So I use this ChatGPT app every once in a while for just goofy things to make pictures and but sometimes I ask well, somewhat serious questions. I've kind of joked that I've always made sure that I don't belong anywhere. No, I never fit in any group anywhere I've ever been. So certainly not in high school. In fact, I intentionally made sure I didn't fit in with any cliques. Never really given a rat's ass what anybody thinks. But the drawback to that, or the blowback to that, could be that, well, maybe you get intentionally ostracized for being a little different. So I decided to ask ChatGPT a question. So I said, I joke that I intentionally make sure that I don't fit in anywhere. To say I'm a nonconformist is a bit of an understatement. Would this be a disorder or syndrome of some kind? I've just never had the need to fit in or belong to a certain group. And they said, well, that's a really good question, good and insightful question. And it speaks more to personality and worldview than any kind of disorder. There's no recognized disorder or syndrome for not wanting to fit in. In fact, what you're describing, a deep sense of individuality, independence of thought, and resistance to nonconformity, which would also explain my political views, why I don't like what seems to be the rise of fascism in this country. A deep sense of individuality, independence of thought, and resistance to conformity can align with several healthy traits depending on context. For example, high autonomy, you value personal freedom and self-determination more than social approval. Yeah, that pretty much describes me. I like going to social things, I do, but I don't really, I've never looked for anybody's approval. Nonconformity, counterculture, identity. Some people find authenticity by defining themselves against norms or expectations, not out of rebellion for its own sake, but as an act of integrity. Low social affiliation need. Psychologically, people vary in how strongly they need to belong. Some thrive on community, others on independence. I probably go more towards independence. Like I said, I mean, that's why I've never really wanted to belong to a church. I don't mind going upon occasion, but I don't want to have to be anywhere, any certain time, you know, this time every Sunday, or you have to be here for this meeting, there for that. I don't do those kind of things. And it's actually for the similar reasons that I've never wanted to belong to a poker game. I like playing poker, but I've never wanted to be in that weekly game because I don't want to have to be anywhere at any particular time, nor do I want to fit in with a group for that long a period of time. Where it might become problematic is only if it leads to distress like loneliness, alienation, or difficulty maintaining relationships you do value. I admit, sometimes that has become a thing. Uh, but from the way you describe it, it sounds intentional and comfortable for you. It is, and it is. It is intentional. More of a chosen philosophy than pathology. That's what I was wondering, you know. I was, you know, sometimes it's a fine line. If anything, it's reminiscent of figures like Abby Hoffman and Hunter S. Thompson. What's interesting is that they mention those two names because I bring them up periodically when I'm having conversations with folks, even in some videos. Abby Hoffman, in particular, definitely a hero of mine. And Hunter S. Thompson for his individuality. I said it's funny how you mention those because I bring them up and I consider them role models. That's perfectly on brand with what you described. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of this to you, but it does go on to mention similarities, personality, character, personality, and character similarity to Abby Hoffman. But anyways, I'm going to put that down. No need to go into that anymore. But I was just curious, you know, sometimes you wonder, I wonder, Tom, do you do this on purpose? Well, I kind of do. Sometimes I do alienate myself on purpose. I can self-sabotage upon occasion, depending on your point of view. And part of that is just I've never been shy about giving my point of view. I don't feel like I go out of my way, although some would say I do, to provide it. But I mean, if there's a situation where something needs to be said, I will always say it. If I feel it needs to be said, whether somebody's going to agree with that or take kindly to it or not. So because of that, some find my personality slightly abrasive. And I hate to use too many generalities, but yeah, I mean, every generation has its own traits. You can't describe each generation exactly, but each generation does have its own traits. The boomers, the Gen X, millennials, etc. But I probably have the biggest gap with millennials, in all honesty, because they don't seem to get it. I kind of use sarcasm and dark humor a lot, and I've noticed they tend to, again, I'm generalizing. I'm not saying all millennials are this way, but most seem to most tend to take things very literally. So sometimes I've had to walk some things back or have some large misunderstandings because somebody thought I was serious when in my mind I was making a joke. Oh shit, a little blood got in my damn beard there. Didn't see that little bastard. Snuck right in there, didn't he? I'm looking forward to this next bunch. So they give you 4 random, and that's what I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any repeats, right? It just says it's random, so I don't know if you're keeping track of what they sent you, so I don't get the same 4 packs over and over again. And then again, I know there's only so many different beers that they have, right? So at some point, there's got to be some overlap. But I know there's some new seasonals out, so I'm hoping that I will receive them. Boy, that beard is getting awful white, is it not? That's some Santa ass shit right there, Tom. I'm gonna grow it out for the rest of this month. In fact, this is 3 months worth. Believe it or not, I've never been able to grow a beard before. This is the first time I've even attempted it, and that really is a nice coat. But it is getting whiter and whiter. So I thought I'd grow it out for until the end of the month, and we'll see. I was hoping to have kind of a Santa-esque beard by Christmas, but and some people say it looks good, but it just feels straggly to me, and I don't like the straggly look. But I gotta admit, I do kind of like that white right there. Just wish it would all just turn white on me. If it's gonna go white, just go. My dad was completely white by the time he was in his mid-40s. all of my brothers and sisters were gray by 40. And I'm 60, and I'm mostly gray and white at this point, but there is some brown in there still. So I feel pretty good to still have hung on to the hairline. My brother and I joke with each other that I got the hairline, he got the metabolism. So I've still got hair, but he's still skinny. I got chunky. I've been working on that, though, and I am really working on it. Anyways, I digress. No need to belabor the point. Beleaguer the point? But anyways, I'm Tom Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific drinker, purveyor of wisdom, all around good guy. Hey, thanks for tuning in and listening to my, whatever the hell that was. Sludge. Hey, Sludge, I do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. Almost forgot who I was for a second there. So I'm finishing up my Minocqua beers for my last shipment because I got a new one coming today. So I thought I'd try to get a couple things out of the fridge here. This is their Culper Spy Ring West Coast Style India Pale Ale. Introducing Culper Spy Ring IPA, the second beer of our Resistance series, which was envisioned after a twice impeached convicted felon was inaugurated as America's president on January 20th of 2025. The Culper Spy Ring was an American spy network around New York City during the Revolutionary War that provided George Washington with information on British troop movements. Like the Patriots who spied on the British. We Americans must now spy on Trump's fascist regime to protect our fellow citizens from tyranny and oppression. There you go, just reading the can, folks, although I do agree with everything said there. Talking about your beliefs can get you in trouble these days, unfortunately. Although I think caring about people's freedom should be a good thing, and supporting a known would be a bad thing. Though we seem to be living in a backwards time. Anyways, this is a nicely done West Coast style IPA. We show that to you. Big citrus up front, hint of tropical fruit, but mostly citrus. Orange in particular. A lot of big orange zest notes in there. And just a nice amount of that pine-like note in the finish to help clean it all up. My shirt says, I haven't figured out the mirror thing. I'm kind of technologically. I tried to find the setting here, but I can't. But my shirt says, just so we're clear, slavery was bad. It does seem bizarre to me that it has now become a left-right issue, right? Everybody should agree, yes, it was bad. And I do find it bizarre that there are some that don't even want even the notion of it taught in schools anymore, which is bizarre to me. These are the same people that threw a fit when Confederate statues come down saying you can't erase history, and then they don't want to teach actual history. They want to teach this whitewashed version that makes white people look good. Well, there isn't a way. There isn't. We've committed so many atrocities as a country. Do I feel personally responsible? No, but I do feel responsible that we've allowed it to happen and we allow it to continue. But I don't think it should be a political issue, and I find it bizarre that it has become one. Not wearing the shirt, people will automatically know what my political stance is, and it really shouldn't be. Everybody in the country should be able to wear a shirt like this, whatever side you're on. But nevertheless, this is where we are, which is one of the reasons why I proudly support Minocqua Brewing and what they're trying to do. That they have enough guts to take a stand against our current fascist regime. Like I said, I've got a new shipment coming today. I get 4 packs a month. This will be my second month I've gotten them. But I am curious to see if there's any repeats. I know they've only got so many beers, so I'm thinking at some point there's got to be some repeats. But I'm hoping not, right? I'm hoping to have 4 completely different 4-packs than I got the first time. I know there's some seasonals coming out, but they just said it's random, so I'm not sure how random it is, right? I just want different stuff. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, cilantro. Got a nice day out here in the Ozarks. I guess today and tomorrow are supposed to be nice, and it's going to start cooling down. So, I mean, it is rather unseasonably warm, if you want to know the truth. So, you shouldn't complain. I shouldn't complain too much because it is warmer than it typically is. Even the cool down they're calling for isn't out of line with the time of the year. It just, you kind of miss it. Miss the warm. And of course, daylight savings just started, and I find that annoying. I don't like it, man. I don't like it being dark at 5 o'clock, man. I start my shift at 4, and it's dark at 5. I don't like it. I'm just saying, I don't like it. I think we should end daylight savings. I don't really think there's a need for it anymore. I'm not sure why some are still advocating for it. I haven't heard a good reason why it should still exist, because it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Wife had to go out and pick a lot of our garden stuff before the hard freeze hits. The other day we had a freeze, so she went out and picked a bunch of stuff. So I've got some things cooking in there. Had a handful of tomatillos left and some peppers, so I've got that kind of simmered down. I'm gonna make the last batch of verde for the season. I had a pork roast that I cooked the other day, but once that sauce gets ready, I'm gonna slowly add that pork to it to add more dimension to it. So I'll have some pork chili verde. Nice. It's a very nicely done West Coast style IPA. Let's see, I didn't read the 6.8, 40 IBUs. A little light on the IBUs for a West Coast. Most get up to 60, 70. 6.8. It is rather well balanced. I will say for my own particular palate, I wouldn't mind 70. I kind of like that big bitter, that hard punch, but it is put together rather well. So there you go. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, beer drinker, of Beer Wisdom. All right, good guys. Launch it.